The following program contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and the girls, welcome to Ox After Dark, the late night great night show where Dean the Dream Martin and Classy Thomas talk about our dreams, our lives, our trials, our tribulations, and more. I kind of want to be dark. Can I do that? Let's see. I want to see what that looks like. Oh, that's the wrong button. Here we go. Look at that. Alexa, turn off the collection. Let's see if that works. Oh, I just have one light that I have to plug into its own plug. But that's maybe too dark. Alexa, turn on the collection. Dean, how's your week been so far?
Lazy. It's Thanksgiving week, so not really much going on, so I've just been hanging out. Chilling. Killing. We've streamed pretty much every night, so just hanging out with the boys.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you'd say we could take a day off. I was like, bro, we were streaming a lot. But we're here, we're live, and we're going to put on a show. Thomas, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I was, because I don't know, I'm still getting over something. I don't know what I'm getting over, but I've been like really congested and everything like that. And yesterday my foot was like swollen, and then after, but today I woke up, it was down significantly, and I've been kind of walking around on it. So I've just been kind of cleaning up around here, trying to get ready for Christmas, because I got my niece and my sisters will be coming in, so I'm trying to get the house somewhat presentable, I guess, as presentable as I'm going to get it. And but yeah, I was watching y'all last night. I saw your movie of the week for this coming week is Blue Beetle, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. I hope you love it, because I watched it this weekend and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. As a matter of fact, this is the first DC movie in a long time. I probably say since Suicide Squad that I really just enjoyed from the jump. I mean, just enjoyment. And it was, so yeah, so I'm looking forward to hearing your comments next week to see if y'all liked it too, because I as a matter of fact, if they make a Blue Beetle figure, I'm getting that, because I liked it that much. And
I think that ship sailed and sank to the bottom of the Pacific already, unfortunately.
really, I don't know. Look, even if it's third party, I want that figure. That figure was
The only thing I can tell you is coming is a $1,600 statue from Primark. That's already like the same week he came out. It was announced like the same day.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get canceled,
Fucking love Blue Beetle to spend that kind of money.
Yeah, well,
a third party figure is going to be $150.
Yeah, well, that's if it doesn't get canceled or something too, because not enough people pre-order it.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, but other than that, just chilling, waiting for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna have myself a little bit of turkey, I guess, and I'm not going to have a whole bunch, because I'm just gonna be chilling here myself, unless I go over to my aunt's or something like that. But I don't know. I kind of want to just laze around. I really don't want to necessarily go anywhere. I just want to sit here, watch television, have my nice warm fuzzy shoes on, and with my nice warm feet. That makes me happy. So that's what I want. But that's what I've been doing. So Lane, let's flip over to you. What's been going on with you this week?
Pretty much the same thing that Zach and Dean have been talking about. I've streamed every day this week. So if we hadn't gone exactly tonight, I probably wouldn't have gone boo. But no, but I was on a comic book stream yesterday night. So the first time I was over on there, gentleman I know who runs a comic LCS in Berkeley, California.
Oh,
and I was on with him. Got a couple special covers and stuff he shipped out to me this week. Like a Del Auto Carnage, new #1 what was it? Something unique with it. It was like a $12 comic for the single issue. But yeah, no, 2 weeks been going pretty good. I was off work today. I'd used the PTO day, so I was getting 5 days off, and I had to work full days Monday, Tuesday. But getting the holiday week, like driving to work, actually didn't make me completely bananas. And then I got to work from home the afternoon on Tuesday, so it's been a pretty relatively easy week and everything. I have relatives who flew in yesterday, my aunt and her husband, and one of my cousins who's about like 20 years younger than I am. So I'll be seeing them and my uncle tomorrow, and we're gonna have lunch and stuff. Probably be over there a couple hours or so, to like 3-4 hours, and then they'll come over here to my place on Friday, and then they leave on Saturday. Like they're flying out at like 7:15 or something Saturday morning, because my aunt the next day they have to fly back. They live in Pennsylvania, and then my aunt on Sunday, her job has to fly to Europe.
Oh,
Yeah.
So she's going to be having not a fun time.
Yeah. It's been an interesting week. It's been kind of busy. So I work with people that are disabled as like their caregiver, and one of my guys that I work with, he's in a wheelchair, and he spends a lot of time on his computer. Like, so he watches like DVDs, listens to music on his computer. So he's in a wheelchair. He can't really eat while he plays like PlayStation, so he'll basically like pull up to his desk and eat and watch TV, and he has a bunch of streaming services. And yesterday, when he went to get on his computer, the power supply like blew up, like a capacitor blew or something blew.
That's not good.
And I took it apart like a little bit, and I was like, look, this is beyond my skill level, and honestly, like, this is a really old computer. Like, it's probably not worth, the $30 to $100 to buy a power supply, and then I have to unwire everything and rewire it. Like, this is just not really worth it. So, he watches a lot of like physical media, and so when we looked on Best Buy, like, there's really only like 3 computers on Best Buy's website that have like the disk drive built in. That obviously you could buy it separately,
right.
but they were all like basically like business level computers, like not anything worth spending $300-$400 on. So I was like, look, let's go to Facebook Marketplace and let's see what we can find there. And so we found him like a really nice computer. It was $70. Which obviously he's low income and he's on disability, so it's like buying a $400 or $500 computer is not really something he can do unexpectedly. And I was kind of sketched out, like, so I was like, look, I'm gonna take your debit card. I'll buy it after work, because the guy's like, I can only meet after 6, whatever. But when we met up with the guy, he was like, yeah, I factory reset it, but it's stuck on the screen. And it was like this boot loop. Like, it would boot up, it would try to update something, and then it would start over. It would say like there's an error. And it was odd because he had shown pictures, which they did have the date of like a few days ago, of sort of like the specs, about this PC specs. So I knew at some point he had reset it properly and got it working again. But he's like, yeah, I mean, once you connect it to your Wi-Fi, it should be good to go. And I was like, I mean, can I call you if anything goes wrong? And he was just like, I just got like a bad vibe. And I was like, it's $70. Like, I'll figure it out, worst case. Sure enough, I get it to my client's house this morning, and it's just not working. Like, I have it hooked up to Ethernet. It's not working. I put it in recovery mode. It's not working. Tried to boot into safe mode with networking. It's not working. Tried to do a bunch of shit. It's just not working. And I'm like, well, worst case, I'll give my friend $70 because I don't know. I felt really bad. And I was like, well, let me look up how to, work on this computer. And so I cracked it open. And I was like, oh shit, it's the same hard drive size as the old computer. And so I just pulled the old hard drive out and put it in the new computer, and everything booted up perfectly, and it it was great because he didn't have to like setting up a new computer is a fucking pain in the ass. So, and actually the his old hard drive was bigger than the new one, and so was able to save the day with that. But I was like, bro, that's not my job description, bro. I was doing too damn much today, the day before Thanksgiving. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. We're doing Thanksgiving at my mom's tomorrow, and I know she's really excited, but I'm not really that excited for tomorrow. And I had to kind of set some boundaries. She had kind of wanted to do some things that I didn't feel comfortable doing, and I think it is important with everything that happened this year, like that she knows, like, hey, it's not a normal Thanksgiving. Like, I'm not super happy. Victoria's not super happy. Phoebe's not super happy. We're not like really in the festive mood, to like be singing Kumbaya at Thanksgiving. So, I know she's a bit upset by that, but I'd rather protect my own peace. So, it's been a good week though. I've been working on like a little project for a few of my friends that are streamers that have their own channels. It's a secret project, but got a lot of work done on that today. Yeah, it's kind of wild, Dean. Like, we have a sort of like an unofficial policy. Like, we just really try not to get involved with a lot of people, and there's a very small circle that we have, but there's so much drama in this hobby, man. It's just like, even outside of streaming, there's drama with, things. There's drama. There's just so much drama. It's exhausting. It's totally exhausting.
Yeah,
and I love that anytime there is drama, most 9 times out of 10 we're not involved in it. We just don't do it. But it's just like to see, people that we like, have to deal with some of the shit they have to deal with. It's exhausting. It's really
exhausting.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's my least favorite part of all this shit that we do.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not just our hobby. It's to fucking walk outside, bro. I can't fucking go on YouTube to watch whatever without some fucking video about this person's getting canceled for X reason, and this person's a piece of garbage for this reason, and
yeah,
and this failed, and
yeah, it's like
the bot. This is the bot, like a bomb, but not the bomb, but a bomb.
Yeah,
or
this
this
movie
is the worst
failed at the box
ever.
office. It's a huge win. It's like, no, it's not. They're gonna keep making this shit. You know it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just exhausting.
Well,
Like, being on the internet is
Can't better
fucking exhausting.
Like,
Yeah.
just turning on anything. Just everything's got a review score. Everybody's got a Rotten Tomatoes. Everybody's got a post that has 500 unlikes or likes, and or people are driving like morons or whatever. It just, it makes it hard. It's the funny thing is, I can say, the usual one time I'm going to relax the most during the entire, like on a regular, say, weekday or something, is when I'm just listening. I'm having to sit in traffic on Route 35.
Oh, God.
Listening to my radio station, because my radio station from my sports radio station where I can just listen, because the two guys who talk, they haven't been together that long, because even that got upheaval from having to switch their channels and stuff in the last several months. But these two guys who I've listened to on different shows for years, in the morning when I have probably normally about 25 to 45 minutes, I listen to them 5 days a week. I get relaxed, man, just listening to them as I'm going. I don't like the bumper to bumper, but I get relaxed, man. It's like sometimes the only part of the day, not even the afternoon, because they're not on.
Bro, Austin bumper to bumper is not to be fucking taken lightly. That shit sucks. I don't know how you do it.
Trust me, it could be worse. I could be like my dad, and when he's having to drive to his office for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes or longer, on Route 95, going past the George Washington Bridge into New York City. Good luck with that. Just take Austin, multiply it by 20. Then that's what you get. And because I've driven through that area in my life, and it is the shits. Only maybe that in Washington D.C. when you're having to do the big round circle.
Yeah, that's what Zach always says, that DC traffic was fucking
Because the layout of the city is like one of the worst.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, if you have like a movie ticket for 8 o'clock, you gotta leave your house at like fucking 5. Like,
yeah.
he
Well,
was
DC, the only place when I lived there, since I went to school there and I lived there almost 6 years, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, or like to mid 2000s, like that's the only time we didn't own a car because I just used public transportation.
I used to use Metro.
Yeah, Metro primarily and stuff. But I want to give some credit, man, to Mrs. Zach from this past Monday because I caught it on replay and stuff yesterday. Finally, like here and there throughout the day. But you did quite a breakdown on. I mean, that was probably kind of expected in certain respects because of how much that particular, not because of InArc, but just that figure. There had been even if it was like a year ago or something, a little bit even longer, there had been a lot of discussion with that. So I expected that was going to be down to you really went through like the back, then the whole thing and everything like that. So I thought you did a really nice, thorough breakdown of it.
Thanks.
Maybe even almost a little overboard a little bit, but that was kind of, there wasn't like you guys had like 2 or 3 other stuff going to be unboxed on Monday night. That was like, that's what we got. So it might as well take my time with it anyway.
Yeah. Well, and that's the good thing about it though. I see, I like things like that. I think sometimes people say that folks are giving, you're bashing this, or I'm like, no, I like when people really go through a figure where they're pointing out the different things that they observe, and then I get to see it also, and it helps form my own personal opinion. Sometimes the things that people show me, I don't really care about, but I at least get a chance to get a thing of how the overall look of it is.
And it was live. That's
right, and it was live.
It's not a set video, so it was.
It wasn't edited. It was just your first time impression.
Yeah,
and Zach, you really did do a good job because I mean, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings type of follower type of thing. I mean, I enjoyed the movies. The only thing is that, I really, when I watched the trilogy, I kind of had a hard time figuring out one movie from the other. Because I mean,
that's because they're like one long trip. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's all. Yeah, I mean,
Tolkien had it as one big book basically, but they made him break it up into.
Yeah, I was still kind of seemed like the movie to me, but I did appreciate. I mean, I could appreciate the Gandalf because I'm not as familiar with him, and it kind of gave me a greater appreciation for the Hugo Morganson, the Viggo Mortensen figure, because that was already really good. And I'm like, man, they did this good with Gandalf. I can't imagine with that. And then the Legolas, because I really do like elves, even though he was a tall elf. I kind of like short ones, but tall elves are all right. So I'm kind of really interested to see how that turns out. But yeah, excellent job, Zach.
Yeah.
You're on mic. You're on mute.
Rewatching it, some of the camera angles are kind of awkward, and it is live, right? And I'm focusing on not breaking my $530 figure. So, when I was putting those thumb things in there, it was really stressful. And there was a few points where I was like, man, this is not going how I thought it would.
Well, it didn't help you on the same Monday night where you've had to watch me unbox and just like watch feet fall off figures and stuff like that. Hello, Clone Troopers.
Lane, you still have the worst fucking luck with figures.
I know.
It's
but
unreal.
Well, I think the thing though that I took away from it was I know, Zach, you did like a post on Facebook group. Hey, like a lot of this is nitpicking stuff about the figure, but you did point out the things that were not 100%. However, I think though you still offset that. Now I don't think I hope someone's not going to go spend $1,300 to try and buy one, currently or something because they're going for so much. Mm-hmm. But I think you did a good job. You did highlight the nitpicks, but you still on the flip side, though, it still did point out just how much there was that was detail and accurate.
Yeah,
that
and
they did put into it.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
and it seems like I was bitching a lot, but I think when something's that good, it's
Well,
almost
he's a
like Tom Brady,
character.
right? Like
He-
it's Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady has won 7 Super Bowls, so when he only gets to the conference championships, it's kind of a letdown.
or
So
you
it's like
just
this
know,
is an
well, only
amazing
through-
figure, and if the only thing I could say about it is the robe is a little too short, the pants are probably a bit too wide at the foot, and they probably should be printed or at least at minimum weathered, because his trousers did have a lot of weathering, which makes it harder to see the paint design,
Yeah.
the little pattern
Yeah.
that we've been talking about. Because I think there's 1 or 2 behind the scenes shots where you see his pants, but they're just so caked in mud that you can't really
Really
make out
see it,
what's
yeah.
mud and what's the print. You know, and there's other things, right? Like the book and then the moth. But again, the only reason we're pointing those out is because everything else is like perfect. Like there's really nothing to say,
Yeah.
but they killed it on everything but these,
Yeah.
4 or 5 things.
Yeah, and usually for any, but it also points out other things they can still show. It's not like, I think in some ways it works better because it allows for them to have to do and still work on improvement. Because if you just went, oh well, this is perfect, man, there's no way practically to improve on it. That's usually when, especially this is what that was their second figure out.
Right.
That starts regression, not progression.
Right.
Usually.
And you were absolutely right about that robe, because when you showed the picture from the
Yeah, it does look-
the movie still,
It's
you could-
almost like on the ground.
it's
like,
on the ground,
where-
exactly.
yeah.
And when I looked at that, I said, "Man," I said, "You couldn't see his boots when he was standing in the movie still." I said, and it was so much. I mean, that was a significant amount, and that's the reason why I asked you to open up to lift the hem back.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see. I said, you know what? That would have been such an easy fix for them. They could have literally let the hem out and done a very small, hem.
Maybe
at the
that
very
could be
bottom.
this third batch or something.
One
See,
thing
that
that
line's gonna take for a
I
minute
will
now.
also say, like the way that movies are made, and I said this on the unboxing, but like they typically have like a hero prop, and then props that are made for stunt. And Dean, this is something that came up when I was doing some research for K for 2049. In some of the scenes where he's kind of just standing there, his cloak is like almost like ankle to like calf level. And other scenes where he's doing a lot of like action stuff, it's much higher. And so it kind of goes back to like what's the canon length of the jacket that he's wearing. And I think it's probably the same with Gandalf, right? Like in some scenes where he's just standing in bag end, it's a bit baggy. In other scenes, it might be a bit higher when you
Yeah.
look at the stills.
Yeah, when
but
you
again,
get into
it's
the-
all like the minutia, right? It's like
Right.
what's-
Bro, I
And
was
to me-
literally about
to
to
me-
say minutia, because then technically Tarkin shouldn't be able to have boots on.
Yeah, because you never
They
see
didn't film
them,
any of the
but-
scenes with
He's
he
wearing
wore like
slippers.
slippers. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I think it's what's intended is that the robe should be full length, because in the official screen test of the costume it's full length. So but again, there's all kinds of things, and you see it a lot, in some smaller budget films, like, Star Wars was a small budget film back in the day. They only had a few hero props of each thing. And other times you see like a stormtrooper outfit, it might look real janky and hobbled together, but when you see it front and center of the camera, it looks totally different. So there's it's a great figure. If I
want
could
one.
get a second one, I would do it. But so if Vinar wants to send me a second one, that would be great. But it's a good figure. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it's figure of the year. I think it's probably the best mass produced figure ever made. I think it's probably pretty close to like the best figure ever made. So it's good. It's just not perfect, but it's fucking pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
I mean,
pro-
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lane.
No, Thomas, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's definitely on the same par as the double Joker set.
I don't have that, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I've-
because
a
that
lot of
double
people have
Joker
said.
set is killer, and it's there's no disputing their quality, but these little things, just like you said, if they're going to be if their goal is to make a figure that is as accurate to the screen version as possible, then they should do just that. And so when collectors and people bring these suggestions to them or things for them to look into, they should take it to heart and say, well, you know what? People are laying out 500, or like in my case, I mean, with shipping, I probably spent about 1,200 in total on that double Joker set. Once they added into shipping, everything, I should expect everything to be perfect. I shouldn't expect these little. I should be able to bitch and moan about anything I want to if I paid that much money for it. And the company should just have to understand that because they made a promise. This is what we're going to deliver. But there's no disputing the quality of their figures, and I'm looking forward to my Battinson that I ordered from them, even though it's not.
It got delayed, unfortunately. Again.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm looking very much forward.
Well, they still got to get a lot of Gandalfs out to people.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, that just, you're gonna have to expect, if you're getting an in-art figure, you're gonna need to realize you got to be patient to get it, because it's how Queen does their statues. So people wait a lot, not just because but people wait for Queen statues often quite a bit because they do the exact same method. So that's what works for them. They're going to do it for the figure. I want that Gandalf now since I watched that, but it's like, I don't, I think
the hype to that down.
Yeah, if I could pick up another one, like for some reason at like $350, I'd do it, but not at $530.
Would you mod it any, or would you just like try to?
I think if I had a second one, I would probably change the pants and then try to take the hem out on the robe. Like, I'm looking at some pictures from some of the trading cards, like the photos they took of them for the trading cards, and like I said, in some of those photos, that you could perhaps make the argument that the robes are maybe just about a 1/4 inch too short. I think it's still probably about a 1/2 inch too short. But yeah, and like I said, the whole reason why it's so hard to find the pants in the movie is because the robe is so long. So if you can ever see any of the pants on the figure, then the robe is not long enough. Like that's just basically what it is. It's always covered. So yeah, it's a good figure. A few just weird decisions, like I mentioned yesterday on the show, like having to kind of tear open parts to get into other parts of the accessories, and those not having a place to store them after the fact. And then I was able to fix the moth. It was just a little drop of super glue, and fortunately it didn't like crack the wing. It was just like snapped off. So I'm sure there's probably a little from the side. It probably looks a bit janky, but from the intended angle, I think it's fine. So I'm not really going to bother TNS or John about sending a replacement. But yeah, it's nice. And I will say one thing I would also add as a qualifier to the unboxing. I did mess with the in-art hat a little bit after the stream, and you can definitely force it on the hair, but I don't think it is good to be like when I took it off. I had to like spend about 20 minutes because it kind of like almost like gave it hat hair a little bit.
Hair, exactly.
Yeah, because it's so there's so much product in that hair, and it kind of messed up the way it was. Like it is just a pain in the ass. So
I don't think I would use so tight. I mean that didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
because the other two, the Hot Toys and the other one, I mean the Hot Toys was a little big, but that other one you put on there looked like a perfect fit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm really happy with it, and it's actually right. I know, Lane, you were asking. I don't know if I can. It's actually there's the Viper there, and then the in-art there.
So your whole display on that side is Gandalf only, or is that?
This one cabinet, it's not permanent because I have some Warhammer and Lord of the Rings miniatures. I need to move them out of there because I really need the space. And then I'll have to figure out what
Zach is Captain Gandalf, man. That's his starship, man.
It's pretty bad. Like and I'm selling some of my other 1/6 scale figures to like,
Are you gonna get Aragorn?
No, I said I wasn't gonna get Aragorn. I have no plans to. If NR wants to send me one to open, I'll open it, but I have no plans to purchase one. It's too expensive. Like, I know my budget. If money wasn't a thing, I would absolutely buy the whole, if they did the Fellowship.
Yeah.
But the cost is too high for me personally. Like, I like Aragorn. Do I want to get a Legolas? Probably. Do I want to get a Gimli? Probably. But at potentially $530 a pop,
Well,
it's just not worth it to me. And so I've basically said, like, I'll get this Gandalf, maybe I'll get a Frodo, maybe I'll get a Gandalf the White, but that's about it. Like, I just got the Asmus Gollum 2-pack in, and even then I'm like, do I need this? Like, do I want to keep it? Do I want to sell it? I don't know.
yeah.
So it's
Well,
I'm
it's
running
hard.
out of space.
It's hard for me because I look at that and go, well, I could buy that Gandalf, or I could go buy like Grand Admiral Thrawn, who I've been waiting like 30 years for a figure for, and I could go buy like Ahsoka for the same price, almost, using some points. So it's one of those things where I completely hear what you're saying there, Zach. I almost bought the Aragorn. Like, I went back and forth for like 5 or 6
It's
days.
nice, and they're spending a lot of time to get it. I
Yeah,
think
it
as
got
good as
delayed again,
possible.
too.
It did get delayed, but I in a way, excuse me, in a way, I wish that they did delay Gandalf a bit more. And I said this Tuesday, but I really wish they would have found where the props were, the original props. There's a museum that owns some of them here in America. I think it's in Chicago. And then there's I'm almost certain that there is the they have what is it, like a costume archive. So I think it would have been nice for them to say, like, hey, let's figure out if these pants need to have some extra details. Let's figure out how long this robe should be relative to the actor's frame. Because it is a very simple costume, right? It's a robe, it's a cloak, it's pants, and basically like a sweater. Aragorn is much more detailed, and I'm glad. In a way, I'm annoyed that they're not hitting their target dates, but I am glad that they're spending the time to, like, really get it
If
as
you're
good
gonna
as
do it
possible.
right.
Yeah.
Well, they also don't have decades of production behind them either with multiple figures. They got that right now. They got to get stuff more right in certain respects. But it still sounds like you did. The biggest thing with their figures that bothered me is the magnets in the base.
It's honestly, Lane, it's so frustrating. It's truly the worst part of the figure. I could live with everything that the problems that I've had. I honestly despise this base. It is so unfun to handle. Because,
but I will say, I think it's based, though, how the way they did the Joker and how they did that Gandalf, kind of sort of interesting, the base designs and everything. I think that's one of the reasons, like, we're getting Ahsoka with that special base with her, and some of the other ones that they've had more recently, say with the Flash figures and stuff that have been a little bit more interesting in the design and such, is maybe help push Hot Toys to do a little bit better with that kind of stuff and everything too. So I will say, from at least the design look, now functionality, totally different thing. The first thing I zeroed in on your post was, I hate space.
It's fucking awful. It's like, I don't know if my magnets are off center or something, but I feel like it just doesn't want to sit like where I think it should. You know what I mean?
Well, and the way that they do those bases, because I found the same thing with my Jokers, that they basically have the magnets in the base in two separate locations. So it's as if they intend that figure to be right there, and all they have to do is to make that work. All they would need to do is press a flat piece of metal and then mold their top in a very thin layer over the top of it. And then that way your figure can stand anywhere on it, because the magnets are going to be drawn to that metal sheet underneath it. And I mean, it's not that difficult. I mean, before I start working with 1/6 scale figures, I used to do a lot of work with the ball jointed dolls community, and there is a customizable figure called an Obitsu, and they have magnets in their feet. And they also, when they send it to you, they send it with a round metal plate that you can basically stand it on. You can pose it anywhere you want to. I mean, my little piece my grotto here is metal. If I wanted to, I could stick him right here, and he would stand parallel because of how strong his joints are by just sticking him to the metal, and then that way the collectors could pose their figures where they want to and not be dependent on two spaces where the magnets are. I mean, it's so annoying.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's just not fun, to be honest. Yeah. Great figure minus those fucking. And I think they are fixing it. Like I think they put up a post somewhere. They were like, going forward, like we're gonna try to figure, at least that's what I took it as. Like they're gonna revisit the doing that. So
did you bring enough for everybody?
I don't think so. But these look fucking good. I'm very excited. I think what also doesn't help with like all the accuracy stuff is like a lot of like, since Photo Bucket is not a thing anymore, or they like took down a lot of websites, a lot of the reference pictures are gone, and a lot of the websites that did have a lot of research into it, those websites are no longer maintained. So they're like, you go to the website, it's like 404, like this page doesn't exist anymore. But I think I've talked about Gandalf too much this week, so let's start with something else.
You want to talk burgers?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna grab a bite of this real quick. Go ahead and intro us into that topic.
Wow, I want to bite a burger right now. Zach took me. Wow. He's been talking about this place literally probably since I've known him. Because he used to work there, I believe. He said. It's called Culver's, which I'm sure everyone's probably heard of Culver's at some point, but there's only one here in town. I don't know if it's like a national thing or.
Yeah, they got one. They got one 2.5 miles from my house.
They're much more popular up north. Up north, it's like McDonald's. Like every other corner has one.
Okay, well, Zach always brings up Culver's. Not like annoying or anything, but. Because I was going to say he doesn't shut up about it, but that's not true. But anytime like we talk about like good burgers, he's like Culver's. And I'm like, I don't know.
It's my favorite, bro.
There's only one, so it can't be that good. Well, we finally went. We went shooting at the range this weekend. You got to meet my brother-in-law, Chris. Super cool guy. And then my sister was there. They shot rifles. Zach and I shot handguns. And... which was tons of fun, which we'll talk about here in a second. But afterward, I was like, dude, let's go get some fucking burgers. Culver's right down the street. And he was like, yeah. So we get there, and Zach recommends the double with bacon. What do they call it?
Bacon deluxe double.
Bacon deluxe double. I don't really like bacon on my burgers. I'm not really a big bacon eater, but I was like, hey, it's my first time. Go all out. So
it's not kosher, I think.
How dare you? So we order it, comes out. I thought relatively quickly, and Zach was like, man,
bro, I was stressing. Forever. I was like, where the fuck are they at, bro?
I was like, bro, we've been sitting here for like 4 minutes. But apparently it's like fast as shit normally. But it was busy. It's not like it was empty. There was a lot of people there. It was what?
Probably about 20 people there.
1 p.m.? It was still like technically lunchtime.
Yeah, it was like lunchtime, yeah.
So I eat this burger. And then, okay, also nitpick. Zach didn't tell me I could get cheese curds instead of fries. He did share, so that was nice.
I offered you like as much as you wanted.
Yeah.
Cheese curds. What are those?
It's just like fried cheese.
Oh.
They're like think of like mozzarella sticks, but like nugget form.
Oh, okay.
So fucking good.
Does it have like a little breading on it too, or is it just a
chicken? Yeah, fucking badass. So I'm really next time I go in, I'm
bro,
getting
get
cheese
that
curds.
marinara, bro. Get that fucking ranch, bro.
That being said, their fries were excellent. I usually don't like fries. Like, I don't eat Whataburger fries. The only
You
fries
also
I
got their
really
root
eat,
beer,
their
which
root beer
you're a
was
big root beer guy.
fucking bomb.
You like
It
root
was
beer?
so good. Yes.
Man after my own heart. I love root beer.
Yeah, theirs was like really smooth. Probably the second best root beer I've ever had.
What's the first one?
If you go to an A&W restaurant, I don't know
They
if they
don't
do
do
this
that
anymore.
anymore.
They don't
It
do it.
fucking it pissed me off.
You
I
can get it
went
on
9
tap.
years ago, on tap with the cold glass.
Yeah.
I went.
They don't do
like,
that?
I went last year. I almost smacked the shit out of.
That might be
somebody.
a COVID thing.
Could be.
Maybe they'll bring it back. But yeah, if you go to fucking A&W and they have it on tap, fucking insane root beer. Anyway,
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
this root beer was smooth and crispy. It was so good. So we get the food and I start eating this burger and I gotta tell you, probably my favorite fast food burger. If it was between Whataburger, In-N-Out, Culver's, or I don't know, McDonald's, I guess, I'm fucking picking Culver's every time. Like
Now,
I said,
there's are there handmade patties or
They're smash patties. So they
smash patties?
They start as like a ball of ground beef.
Uh-huh.
You put them on the grill and you just
Smash
They
it down.
kind of like smash them. Yeah.
now
See.
the closest thing I could kind of compare it to would be like Freddy's, but Freddy's fucking smashes the shit out of their
They're so
meat,
thin, bro.
and it's like crispy burgers. These were still really juicy, so fucking good, bro. But there's only one. It's in like the most inconvenient location in the city.
For you, for me, it's
for
like right next
me.
to my work.
Yeah, but well, that intersection fucking sucks from the direction I have to come from. If you're coming from your house, you can take the back street. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
I can't do that. It fucking sucks. But that being said, that is probably my favorite fast food burger now because it was fucking
So
good.
fucking
Now,
good.
I do have to eat there a couple more times just to really seal it in and make sure that that is true. I
What
usually like to.
I'll say about Culver's is, like, I've had McDonald's that is 10 out of 10. I've also had McDonald's that is 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I would say more likely it trends towards like the lower end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I've had Whataburger that is 10 out of 10. I've had Whataburger that is 1 out of 10, and I'm pretty sure I got food poisoning from it. So, and consistently, I'd say Whataburger's probably like a 7 or an 8, right?
Yeah.
Since Culver's, everything is always made fresh to order. It's always like super fresh. It's always like, I've never gone and got like cold fries. I've never gone and got like, oh, this burger's been sitting out for a while.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, so-
McDonald's. Yeah.
Yeah, and working there, like when I'm sure this is how McDonald's does it too, but like when the people order, they're putting in the order as you're talking, and the feed plays through the speaker, and so you can start making it pretty quickly. But if you're like, oh well, actually, I don't want a burger, I want nuggets. If that burger's not used like right away for the next person, or if they've already started making it, then they toss it, or they'll give it to like. They don't toss it, but they don't use it, right? Like they don't
Right.
save it for like 10 minutes until the next person comes in.
Yeah. Maybe they eat it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but yeah.
Well, I
why I
mean, fuck,
ballooned up
instead of
so
throwing it
big.
away, it's like, hey, let me just eat this while I'm on the line. Yeah.
I remember my boss was like, "Hey,
And he's sending in his application to Culver's. That being said, I still really love Whataburger. I think, and Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just how I've seen it. And Eddie, you're in the chat. You could tell us too. Ever since they got bought out by, I think they were from Chicago
bro,
or
you
something.
are whatever you're about to say is 100% correct.
Their quality is
It's not.
dipped.
It's
not
not
the
as good
same.
as it used to be. Ever since Whataburger
not.
told me, "Are you sure you want 5
Oh
spicy
my
ketchups,
God.
bro?"
That
Down
was so
fucking
fucking
hill.
funny.
I'm like, bro, why
told
did you
us-
ask me?
We've told that story before, but just really quick. Zach and I went to Whataburger one time,
We're
and
hanging out.
we ordered through the drive-thru, and we ordered like 4 burgers, or yeah,
Yeah, it was
3
quite
for
a bit.
Zach, his wife, and his daughter, and him, and then 1 for me. And the girl comes out, and she's like, What did she ask?
She goes, "How many spicy ketchups can I get you?" And I'm
Oh,
like,
that's right.
you were like, "I'll take 3 or however many you wanted for your one order of
Yeah.
3
Yeah,
to
just
1
one.
ratio."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, can I get 5 so Victoria and I can have 2 each, and then Vivi can have 1?" And she's like, "Can I give you 4?" And I'm like, "No, I want 5. Like, why would you
were
even ask me?"
negotiating
If you just
ketchup.
have-
I don't even think it was that generous. It was like less. It was like
It's like,
3.
"Can I give you 3?" I'm like,
No,
"Yeah, I think you're
need
probably
5.
right." It was such
Oh,
an
that was
awkward.
so funny.
I was like, "Bro, what the fuck?"
But yeah, Whataburger has not been hitting the same. I've found myself going to In-N-Out often.
Isn't In-N-Out
It's-
like only like 1 or 2 in San Antonio also? Or is there more?
I'm not sure, but it's right by my house.
Oh, okay.
There's one on Walsham and 410. So I could just hop on the highway for about 15 seconds and then take the
I see.
exit. But it's just their burgers are so fucking cheap. You can get like 3 or 4 of them for the price of one fucking big ass Whataburger.
Eddie says you're
But-
right.
They're smaller burgers, so it's probably technically the same amount of fucking burger, but
I had In-N-Out only one time, and I need to give it a second sample size, but my fries were like super cold, and the cheese like was not melt. It was melted, but it was like melted cheese can kind of get like kind of
Coagulated.
hard. Yeah, coagulated after a while. And it kind of pissed me off. And I honestly should have asked for them to remake it because the
are you
burger
talking
was
about
really
In-N-Out?
fun. In-N-Out, yeah.
Yeah, that's like a thing their cheese just does. Because I eat them in
No,
my
it was
car.
the
and
temperature
it
was cold. Like it just wasn't
Oh.
hot. Like Victoria's
'cause-
fries that were the non-animal style were like super. Like you could see like the smoke or the heat, I guess, whatever you call it, condensation.
Yeah.
Mine like were cold. It was awful.
No,
Yeah.
or you said the non-animal kind. What do you mean by that?
They put like onions in like Thousand Island. It's actually pretty good. The Thousand Island, I love Thousand Island. So
Yeah, so
Oh,
if you
so
ask for anything on the menu animal style, they add the Thousand Island dressing, caramelized onions, and cheese.
Oh, okay.
Now the
love
burgers,
the
I have literally because they make the burgers right there as you order them. Like when you drive up to the window, they're usually making your burgers. And then I've gotten them in the container to eat them in your car, and I've parked my car and my cheese is like that. Like the burger's still hot, but the cheese on like the outside is already like hard. It's weird. Their cheese is fucking weird. But if like the whole fucking thing was cold, yeah, you probably should have.
yeah, it was cold. I should have, but it was so busy, and I was like we got there right before a rush. Like the drive-through was a rush, but the inside we had gotten there right before like an inside rush, and I was like, I just don't want to like
Yeah.
be that guy. I really honestly should have.
Yeah, I like In-N-Out's buns. Their produce is always super fresh. The tomatoes, the onions, the pickles, whatever. I've always felt like really crispy. I've gotten some Whataburgers where it's like, ew, and I take the tomato out or the lettuce.
I've
It's
never had
just
that.
not like not crispy. But and then fucking McDonald's doesn't give you any of that stuff. I thought that was so weird. I was like, even fucking Jack in the Box has fucking lettuce and tomato, but McDonald's ain't got shit.
And I don't like
But yeah,
the McDonald's
Culver's-
shredded lettuce. I mean,
Oh, yeah, on their
they always do
chicken
shredded.
sandwiches.
I want some lettuce leaves because once when you pick up that burger and then all of a sudden all those little shredded lettuce leaves start falling out of your sandwich, so
Yeah.
annoying.
So Whataburger has like, I don't want to call it shredded because it's not shredded. It's like chopped.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit bigger pieces of lettuce, which I like. I like their lettuce.
Yeah. See
But
that?
fuck, the Culver's one, man, holy shit. It was badass. Lane, have you ever eaten Culver's?
Yeah, like I said, I got one 2.5 miles from my house. When you
Oh,
guys were visiting,
you
that
just
was-
said there was one. You didn't say if you.
Oh yeah, no, there's one 2.5 miles. So if we hadn't gone when you guys came to visit, we could have gone 2 miles the opposite direction.
Ah, shit. See,
Got a Culver's because they also have good like ice cream too and stuff. So if you don't
have you?
want to,
have-
yeah,
Yeah, they did have a fucking refrigerator of what are they
yeah,
called?
they got a lot of
Custard.
ice cream. Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
bunch of ice cream, like a lot of ice creams, other stuff.
Now
as
let me
well
ask you
that
this,
can get.
Lane. Have you ever spilled a drink at Culver's?
Yes.
Oh my God, Lane, come on.
Lane spilled it.
Yeah, we went to go eat with Lane in Austin. Where did we go? Red Robin or Chili's? What was it?
Red Robin.
was
Oh,
Red Robin.
Red Robin. Yeah, that's,
Yeah, and Lane fucking spilled the
yeah,
drink
right all over
everywhere.
everything. Yeah, no, I've spilled there too. But when my family was visiting, we went. See, the one time I had any bad juju for when I was anything with my car was when my parents came to visit in April, and on Easter Sunday, my mom said, "Oh, I want Culver's. Can you please go out and get me something?" And I was like, "They're closed, bro. They're probably closed."
You
So
called your mom, bruh?
yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
yeah.
Bitch is
And so I finally went, but for whatever she had me so frustrated and distracted, I park in a covered parking spot.
Uh-huh.
Now I've had a covered parking spot for like 10 years at 2 different ones. So when I was backing out, I was so distracted, I knocked my passenger side mirror off because it caught like the edge of one of the things. And this is the only time that's ever happened because I was so distracted and everything because I was so
Yeah.
like, why am I having to go do this?
Yeah.
I've literally parked next to
Bro.
one on one of the sides like for over a decade, and this is the only time that's ever happened.
You know what's so
And then
funny? Because those like mild inconveniences, it's like, yeah, drive down the road a couple minutes, get your mom something to eat, like not a big deal. But it's like, it's just so mildly inconvenient that it's annoying. And then something like that happens, and you're like, fuck, like this is why this is so inconvenient.
Yeah.
Because it just has now added
Well-
to shit I have to deal with later.
And I
It's so funny.
kind of managed to because I managed to get it kind of attached in place. My car was going to be going, and I was going to be taking it to have to get repaired anyway soon. So it wasn't that the back side of that had been scratched all the hell, so it was going to have to get replaced eventually
Yeah.
anyway. From previous accident window where it was in my old parking spot, person backed up into it when they were backing out. So that wasn't like the end of the world because that was probably getting replaced anyway. But it's still that happened. Then I drive to Culver's, it's closed, just like I thought.
Yeah,
It didn't help kind of
that
it.
sucks.
Yeah, but it didn't help at the same time because my dad was also carrying on, kind of yelling at her, like, why are you having him go do that? So it kind of added to the tension and everything. And
Yeah.
White Castle. White Castle.
So Ghost Top says White Castle's my guilty pleasure. I want White Castle so fucking bad. Like
I don't
real
think we
White
have
Castle.
it here, right?
No, it doesn't exist for like hundreds and hundreds of miles.
Miles.
I think the closest one is like fucking Pennsylvania or some shit.
But
And then Nick's Collectible says, I call my mom dude. I call my mom, you'll get a kick out of this, Lane. I call her Genova Head.
What?
So in the game, Final
Final Fantasy 7, I know. Oh,
Yeah.
what was that? Like you walk around with the head, like Sephiroth does.
Yeah,
did?
so the main antagonist of the game is Sephiroth, but his quote unquote mother is Genova. She's like this alien creature
Okay.
who like crash lands onto planets and basically takes all their resources and then fucks off to another planet to do the same thing. She's fucking evil. There's a point in the game where he goes to get her, but he only takes her head. So he just carries around Genova's head. And so my
And what
mom,
uses her
she's a bit
body
of a
part to-
firecracker, right?
Yeah.
You piss her off and, she's fucking fit to be tied. So we call her Genova Head. That's literally how I talk to her. I'm like, hey, Genova Head, what are you doing today? Like, yeah.
But
You don't call her mom? You every time you said Genova.
I literally, I just call her Genova
Wow.
Head.
well, it's funny you saying that because tonight I'm actually going to be buying Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Wow,
first
nice.
one?
It's on sale. Yeah, the remake I'm finally going to buy.
Have you played it yet?
It's on sale. No, never had it in 4 years.
It's fun. It's a fun game.
I already know
Bro,
most of the major stuff. I know
Yeah.
the plot stuff already.
There
But I
are
want to
s-
finally play it.
there are stretches of that game that are so fucking brilliant. It's unreal how good
And then there are
that game
parts that I
is.
know story wise will probably make me want to.
It's so stupid, bro.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
that's why
so
a lot
that's
of
another
people.
one of those story type of games.
Well, see,
where
the
the,
thing
It's
is,
it's a JRPG. Well,
yeah,
action RPG now, but
yeah, but it's one of like Dean and I were at the right age when that came out, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I was like late teens, early 20s, and that's when I really that was a big game for Final. That's what launched Final Fantasy, kind of like
yeah.
really
So
there.
Final Fantasy VII in the original PlayStation 1 version, it's probably like a 40 to 60 hour game. Like if you do all the
Stretch
little
it, do Knights of the Round and stuff like that.
yeah, do all the like nitpicky little stuff and then but like
Hunt
the
all the
story
ultimate
is
weapons.
very long, you know, and then with the gameplay it's, you know, about 60
And they
hours.
chop parts out of it, which is scary because they had to wrap it up kind of hurry. at the
Yeah,
end.
so this remake is like technically the first 2 hours of the first game in
like 25 hours.
hours. And it's amazing the content they were able to squeeze out of just those 2 hours. And there's a lot of like building of characters and stories that weren't there.
That
And
made
it enriches the story and honestly is better. And then there's just some stuff that it's like, what the fuck are they doing?
there are a lot of good individual moments
Yeah.
and like some very good character
Yeah,
moments.
tons of
But
good
the
character building.
overall story, and I see it's Thomas, kind of with this remake is kind of
It's a
it's
sequel.
short. It's really a sequel, not a real remake, because they're introducing like they're doing the MCU multiverse, multiple timeline
Yeah.
kind of thing or something.
So,
which,
so
but
for
everybody hated it.
Lane might have a better time playing it because he already knows that this is a sequel. I bought it. It was like the first week of lockdown when this game came out. And I think they gave it to us like a week early. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing this game and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like almost like the first like 25 minutes of the game, I was like, why is this happening? And then by the time I finished the game, I was so fucking furious. I was like, this is stupid as shit. Because I didn't know it was a sequel. And now, you know, that
You look at it and go back.
everyone's
and go,
dissected it, and then Squaresoft, the people, or Square Enix,
Well,
has kind of told the plan of, and you know, shown what they're going to do.
well,
It's
now
like,
they're saying it's going to go out to Advent Children, which I was like, why?
yeah.
Does
but
that
it's
mean
like,
we're going to have shooting seconds?
But
We're
it's like
gonna have,
this is
different-
called remake, and you sold it as a remake.
But
like,
but now
it's
they're
not,
now they're making it though that was actually like a remaking where the
yeah,
next one is
it's
called
like
Rebirth.
horse shit.
But
It's like, no, you
yeah.
fucking wanted my money, and that's why you.
It's
Did.
like
Yeah.
George Santos. He's not Jewish. He's Jewish. What a legend, bro.
Jesus, man.
What a legend.
But
that is,
but
that
you
dude's
know that's
incredible.
like Scott Pilgrim. They just had that where the marketing. It was a Netflix show, animated.
Bro,
based, you know, like they had
Fox.
to do-
I was so excited for the Scott Pilgrim cartoon because I love that movie. I gush about it on the show.
the movie,
good
the
movie.
comics and stuff. It was everybody thought it was going to be a comic adaptation. Like,
Yeah,
in the art style.
they
and
hired
everything, but-
they hired all the
the
original actors
actors.
from the movie to
voice them.
reprise their roles as voice actors. And it's like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the fucking cartoon on Netflix. Yeah.
Finally,
And they
animated-
fucking He-Manned it.
Yeah, it's
It
actually
has nothing to do with Scott. It's like, why is
It's
this
a
fucking
sequel.
name even
It's
in
a-
the title?
Yeah, it's an alternate timeline sequel. It's not it's the mark now. The creator said he always meant this to be a thing, but the marketing for it even used shots from
Yeah.
the original. Like
He
stories
always
and
meant for it
comics
to
and
be a
stuff.
thing after the movie did fucking incredibly well and he got a bunch of money.
Yeah,
That's a
but
lot.
I mean, it was just the thing, and the story for it is actually
It's
good.
like George
for
Lucas
its own
always
story.
wrote the prequels.
Yeah. But I mean, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is actually a pretty good story and does things very, like with some of the characters, makes a lot of the characters more interesting. But the original Scott Pilgrim was like a comic, like classic shonen, like very basic shonen storyline of good guy versus bad guys. And then goofy relationship stuff is the basis for why all of this has happened.
Yeah, it's fucking
Along with-
outrageous. That's what makes it fucking cool and fun.
Yeah, and the movie is perfect. You know nothing because it's like amazing because the comic wasn't even done when it came out, but like the ending's almost exactly the same. There are different parts of it that are a little bit different, but the way they marketed it was like how Final Fantasy did it, where it was. I don't think even if they were going to have some slight divergence to it, we thought it was going to be at least certain characters are going to meet certain fates at certain times.
Yeah, even if you just base it off
maybe
the trailer.
expanded more. Yeah,
But no, they
and now it's totally different.
Yeah.
Now they say it's going to be quote more like the sequel is going to be more like what happened later.
I'm not watching any shit they put out. You already fucking lost me. I'm not watching it. I'm not fucking supporting it.
Well, you know, it's with I was speaking for Final Fantasy. Like
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about...
No. Sorry, I only meant Scott Pilgrim. Sorry, I didn't mean to get us on Scott Pilgrim. I know that's more recent, but that was just I was meaning for the advertising. Scott Pilgrim's thing was the advertising, how they did it, because it was done on purpose to make it feel like, even though it was a different title, they put like literal images from the original comic, like sort of animated. So that's what it looked like. At least mostly was going to be.
Yeah, it's like the shit they did with The Last of Us 2, putting Joel in the cutscenes that he was never in for the trailer because he was already dead at that point. It's fucking horse shit.
Yeah,
it's like you fucking lied to us in the advertisements. Like us to buy this fucking shit.
Or
like,
remember
Thomas, do you play video games?
Well, I'm not as prolifically as you guys do, but I dabble.
I would say pick up Remake because it's really good. Like, objectively, now that I know the direction and stuff, and
you can play it if you don't know anything. You can play it and not worry about it.
You can play it if you don't know anything.
And it's just its own story.
Because I think years ago, it might have been when the Final Fantasy. I think it might have been
7 came out.
It might have been Final Fantasy. It might have been Advent Children. Might have been the one that I got.
The movie.
No, well, was the movie like one of those animated? I mean the
CGI.
CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was several years after.
Okay. Okay. I thought that was
originally. It was part of it was part of like games and stuff, sequels and stuff.
Okay.
The original Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it takes place 5 years after the events of the game.
Okay.
It's not. It's when like Dirge of Cerberus, where you played as Vincent Valentine.
Yeah, but apparently
Iron Gunman.
Zach's probably bored out of his mind. Yeah. But apparently, the Sephiroth from Advent Children, which is the original Sephiroth from the game,
is in this.
That's
is
one wing, right?
Is the current Sephiroth in this timeline. He's figured out a way to traverse.
Well, it's supposed to. I'm sure in some way it's going to be because of the stupid dialogue from the end of that, where he says, "I will never remain," just like he's a living memory or something.
Yeah,
stupid.
That's the dude.
Like I'm in Collective the Wing.
That's the dude with the one wing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a great
guy, by the way.
Actually, Sephiroth is a fucking goober. Like Genova's the really real bad guy, and like for some reason everyone just fucking hyper focuses on Sephiroth. It's like, bro, she fucking manipulated him, and like the second they achieved their goal, she was gonna kill Sephiroth, like without a doubt. Like that's just what she was gonna do.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the game fucking focuses on Sephiroth for some reason.
Yeah, but it's. But I mean that's just the way it feels like advertised a lot of times when they're bringing properties back or in some reference to it after a long time is that they do make you think it's going to be one thing and then it's something different. A lot of TV shows have done that, and but Final Fantasy was.
You thought it was going to be good.
Well, that's just creative decision at the time. But it's sometimes even we've had figures or other stuff like that where it looks like it's gonna be one thing and then it's something kind of different.
Mr. Masashi says you should get into the black hole that is League of Legends. I just don't like that style of gameplay. But anyway, Thomas, remake you could buy right now. It's probably on sale. It's by Friday, and the sequel comes out
Next year.
February.
Yeah, end of February, I think.
Yeah, February.
February,
So,
March, something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I might.
It's,
that's on PlayStation or
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
PS5.
And there's a
Is it
lot of
exclusive?
difficulty setting. Yeah. Yeah, it's not on Xbox.
Yeah, it's
At least
exclusive.
as of right now.
Okay.
And Thomas, there's a lot of different difficulty settings to it. So if you want to play it mostly for the story, you can, but there are higher difficulty stuff, and they did like an expansion which has like super silly. So one of the cool things for Final Fantasy, there's usually like either I don't know about this so much, but there's like super silly hard bosses you could go to and stuff after you really leveled up, like Vice in the Intergrade, who was that was a boss guy from an offshoot game who is only available like on hard mode, and he can one shot you. But I know we're putting Zach to sleep.
Yeah, let's answer this question, and then I think we'll cut it off here. Mr. Musashi says, the Oxfather saw your interview at the Pokemon TCG shop. Really enjoyed it. Guy seems super chill. You're going to start doing tournaments? I probably won't. I really do want to play at their... it's like the equivalent of Friday Night, like the league that they have there. But it starts Tuesday at 7, and it runs for about 2 hours, so there's no way I could make it there and then do CW. So going to have to put that on the back burner. And hopefully they change the days at some point. But as far as our involvement with them, I think at some point we'll probably do some ribbon ships with them, either on YouTube or another platform.
What does that mean?
So what that means is you would say, I want 3 of this pack, 2 of this pack, 3 of this pack, and then we open them live, and then we ship you whatever we open. So, if it's a $100 card or a $1 card, we ship it to you.
Ship what to you?
Like the contents of what's inside the pack.
To the people watching?
Like you buy it. Like let's say you're like, I want 10 packs of this one set. Then we open them live, and then we ship you all the cards that you
Okay,
purchased.
so the person who bought the cards, so we don't actually buy the cards. We're just
we don't
opening
open
it for
anything
content.
that is not purchased already. Correct.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. That actually sounds like fun. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, we're
I just like
buying
opening the
cards
cards.
and then giving them away? I didn't know.
No.
That makes sense.
So, like,
Mr.
for example-
Musashi could buy 10 packs.
Yeah, and I guess the
You pick
benefit
up
is
10
like
packs.
the benefit is that store has like some Japanese packs. They also have packs that are sold out. So like there's that, but then also like it's just entertainment, right? It's 10 p.m. the shops are closed, but you can still like get packs. You know what I mean, and see what you hit on. And it's just also like a good. It's like a thing. I don't really get it, but it's like the current thing on like TikTok and Twitch and all the other platforms. So
Cool.
we may participate in that. Hopefully, at least we're kind of dotting the i's and crossing the t's. But
Yeah, if you guys are interested in that, let us know. That sounds cool.
yeah.
Because you don't want to agree to something and then nobody buys
Well,
it.
he has his own platform, so we may do it on ours as well as in addition to. But like he also pays for like Twitch business and like TikTok business where he gets to go live. It's like a thing. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We're real thankful to have you guys as listeners, as friends of the show, and Lane and Thomas are thankful for you guys as well.
Yeah.
Dean, thankful for you as well. Let's see. We have a pre-recorded show tomorrow night. It's with Mr. Musashi. We talked about that yesterday, so if you want to check that out on CW. But yeah, tomorrow we have a pre-recorded interview with Ross from Cyberzoic, the Kickstarter, and then Friday we have just on Friday night, Saturday D&D, and Sunday question of the week. But yeah, everyone have a good Thanksgiving. I got to go help make Thanksgiving dinner, so I'm trying to get out of here. I got to help Victoria make a bunch of stuff for tomorrow. But we love you guys, and we'll catch you on the next
And always be
episode.
glad, thankful for ammunition.
Bye.
Have a good evening, guys.
Hey, there you go.